Good evening, well, this is my third video. Hope you guys enjoyed my last two videos. Talk with my big Xanus. Yeah, sorry guys, in my last video, my first snippet I showed you, you guys were able to see well, but the second one, the camera was upside down, so when you turned it, the page would keep flipping on your phone, so you have to kind of like turn it on that angle when you read on your phone. That's why I upload another video so you can read it hopefully a bit better, obviously, but I mean, I upload a short video about my book. Ivan, what scene do you think is more entertaining? Oh, the volume 2 one, the Daggers of Colonial scene. That's one of my one of my most entertaining scenes in the book. The scene I showed you, that's one of my pretty big scenes, obviously. The other scene is not really one of my big scenes, but it's still entertaining, as you guys read, right? When Cassius leaves the walls. Yeah, Ivan, your book is sick, man. Like, I'm fucking, like, every time you show us stuff, we're hooked. I know, it's a masterpiece, man. I'm not showing you guys anymore. I won't spoil the story for you. Obviously. And the scene right after that scene, when Mary meets Cornelius in secret, the scene right after that is when Lithia talks to Bell that I showed you, you know what I'm saying? The bell that sounded Bell. Papyri is a guilty man. Yeah, that's the scene right after that. And Ivan, that scene was also entertaining, as you guys read. Yeah, that's why my book is constantly entertaining when you read it. Toxic Loans, you can argue, is the best chapter in Volume 2, but it's short. It's not a long chapter, but it's drama, hardcore drama. When Tacitus gets thrown in the dungeon, all hell breaks loose in Saphius. You have Mary and Cornelius, they meet in secret in the stable, and Job eavesdrops. Now sick, I know. I was like, boo, boo, boo. No one can know about this, especially Lithia. Surely if Tacitus is there, so said, you're amazing, right? Your flow is so beautiful, Ivan. I know. How do you do it, Ivan? I'm gifted, man. It's a gift that I have, man. I have the gift. I have the heavenly gift. It's a gift that I have. I have the heavenly gift. But I'm not showing you guys more, man. I won't spoil stuff for you, man. No more. Zero. I'm not showing you anymore, guys. You'll find out when you purchase my books, I'm sorry. So I already spoiled quite a bit of the scenes, some of the story for you, man. I don't want to spoil any more of the story for you, so you'll see when I do when you read the book. I won't spoil stuff for you. Are there more big scenes in Attacks of Colonians that you didn't show us? I showed you quite a bit of the big scenes, but there's a few more big scenes I did not show you. There's other big scenes I didn't show you, but it's a short chapter. I won't spoil stuff for you. So, Sarah. Yeah. Your book is sick. I know my book's a masterpiece, man. Grace fans all over it, man. It's money. Money. My book. Money. I made coffee, guys. I'm gonna go get my coffee in a sec, guys. Yeah. Oh, Ivan, please show us Volume 3. No, guys. I'm not showing you Volume 3. I don't want to spoil story for you, man. If I show you Volume 3, the story will not be spoiled. And you purchase my book and you know the story now. Hence why I'm not showing you Volume 3. You guys already know a little bit about Volume 1 and 2. I don't want to show you Volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story, man. You'll see when we read the book. I won't spoil the story for you guys. That's why I'm not showing you Volume 3. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Wait till you read Volume 3. That's when the crazy shit happens. Deep shit happens in Volume 3, obviously, right? Yeah. Yeah. I might make maybe a 50-minute. This is my last video today, guys. And I'll enjoy the show with you guys. And after that, I'm going to watch a movie on my phone. I don't know. I might watch The Bad Guys, maybe. Or I might rewatch Prince of Egypt. I love Prince of Egypt. It's such an amazing movie. I might watch Prince of Egypt after this. And I'll go to bed around 10, 11. I'll go to bed. Yeah. I hope you guys were able to read the second part. Yeah, we were. We adjusted our phone, like we tilted this way, and we were able to read it. Yeah, even though the screen kept flipping up and down because my camera's not adjustable. That's why I made a short video. That way you can read it a little bit better. But I mean, hopefully you guys were able to read. Yeah, I reread it. Yeah, and your book is sick. I know. It's fucking sick, honestly. That's the entertaining scene. Your characters come alive. I know. The character of Mary, Cornelius, Job. You know, and I am. And aren't you Eli's caretaker? I am. You were the one that fetched the scheming. I know, sick. I know, I'm fucking sick, man. Here's this is Lord of the Rings. I know, please, Lord of the Rings. Masterpiece, man. Lord of the Rings. It's a masterpiece, my book. It's Lord of the Rings. Oh, fuck my phone. Oh, no. It's Lord of the Rings, man. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, we now understand why your stepmother told you it was number one. Yeah, when the gatekeepers heard my book, they were shocked by how good it was. That's why they went to desperate measures by throwing me in a hospital, obviously, with the crazy people, obviously, and they even hacked my laptop right after they threw me in the hospital. And I pulled it off, I rewrote the whole thing, Volume 3 and the end of Volume 2, and I say to Muhammad, they can't touch my father. That money's mine, you're not touching it. Let it go. I'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Why, man? How do you do it, man? Like, there's something about your book that's unique and it stands out from the other novels. I don't know, man. It's a gift I have. I have the heavenly gift. Yeah, man. I have the heavenly gift. I have the genes, right? My father's God, so he gave me all the gifts, obviously, to be successful in this world. He gave me the keys and he gave me the gifts because he knew the gatekeepers were locking doors me. That's why God gave me the genes, the gifts, obviously. I'm actually a smart guy, but the gatekeepers fucked up my brain. That's why I'm stupid. Because they're wicked people. But the gift never went away. The gift never went away, obviously. I was able to write Xanus. Xanus is a masterpiece. Which you guys read, right? It's an amazing book. It's a page turner. It's a masterpiece, my book. Yeah, guys, my coffee's ready. I'm gonna go upstairs and get my coffee real quick. Ready, guys. I'm upstairs to get my coffee. Yeah. Yeah, but that's why I thought she'll be shocked. Did you really write the last of Xanus? I'm like, yeah, I did, sweetie. She's like, holy shit, man. That's a masterpiece, I know, BJ. Yeah, I see your point, man. If you turn this into a movie and you put $3 billion towards the movie and you give Peter Jackson that on the budget, man, you're looking at a masterpiece, Ivan. Better than even his Lord of the Rings, yeah. Looking at a movie better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Obviously. And then, a movie better than Lord of the Rings. And that's why the gates want to control my brand. Yeah, we know why the gates want to control my brand, because you're special and you have the keys. And the whole industry won't buy my book. That's billions for Ivan and BJ. They don't want me making that kind of money, obviously. And they also know the Xanus brand will be more popular than Lord of the Rings and their Harry Potter, man. Lord of the Rings, their Harry Potter, the Lord of the Rings that they own, that they control, right? Because everything's under their power control. It's bigger than all their brands. Xanus will be more popular than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter cards. And Harry Potter was fucking popular. You guys don't remember when Harry Potter came out in the late 1990s? I don't remember when Harry Potter came out. I was too young. Like, Harry Potter came out like in 1997. I was only a 5-year-old kindergarten kid. I didn't know. But I do remember like 1999ish around when I was a little bit older, like 7 years old. I remember people in Montreal talking about Harry Potter. And in 2000, I remember when I was 8, I remember the Harry Potter phenomenon, the buzz, man. I remember when I was in grade 5, people were going crazy about the Chamber of Secrets. There was one lady in my class in grade 4, grade 5. She was a Harry Potter nerd. She was like talking about the movie coming out and everything, Chamber of Secrets. But I never really cared about Harry Potter. I was more into Lord of the Rings. I never really cared that much about Harry Potter, but I remember Lord of the Rings too when it came out too. I saw Fellowship Ring on theaters. I saw Returning on theaters, but I didn't see Two Towers on theaters. Yeah. Xanus will be more popular than all those brands, man. Emma. More popular. They know that. Yeah, Ivan's book will be more popular than Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars. Yeah, even Star Wars more popular than Star Wars, man. Yeah. Yeah. If you think Nia2 Star Wars theory is a crazy Star Wars fan, which he is, he loves Star Wars. You know how Nia2 he goes crazy for the shows and the movies coming out? Yeah, like for Xanus, he's a much crazier. Yeah, I love Star Wars, but I'm a much crazier Xanus fan I am Star Wars, because even though George Lucas is famous, he's not the son of God, right? He's not as big as me, he's not as famous as me. Don't hate me, George, I'm saying. Nia2 will be a bigger Xanus fan than he is Star Wars. Yeah. Probably buy the merch, buy my game and play it. He loves playing games, Nia2. Yeah, I'll buy your game. I want to play that game, yeah. Nia2 will guarantee to buy my game. You know what I'm saying? He'll get some of my merch because he's rich. He's a multi-millionaire, that guy. And he'll be excited for the movie, going crazy for the movie, man. It's crazy. Look at how crazy what goes for my movie, man. That's like BJ, you walk home. It's because of me you live in this life. That's why I choose to live. It's fair. No, I understand. It's fair. That's fair, Ivan. Yeah, BJ. Everything else, we talk it over. But I choose to live, BJ, because I'm the one who saved your ass, and I made this money for me and you, man. I died for you, man. I had sex with your stepmother and my stepmother, just to be with you. It's fair, man. I choose where we live. It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. I went through horror and hell just to save your ass and make the money for me and you. It's fair. I choose where we live. I beat the fucking gatekeepers, and I got you out of hall. You now have the power of control with me, and you're sharing the billions with me. It's fair, BJ. I choose where we live. No, I understand. I understand, sweetie. No, I appreciate what you did for me so much. Yeah, where do you want to live, Ivan? I want to live in Vancouver, Canada. Okay, Ivan. Vancouver's beautiful, BJ. You're gonna love it. Yeah, you will love Vancouver. It's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ivan, are you lying? Is your whole series constant entertainment? Well, guys, what I showed you, are you constantly entertained? Yes, Ivan, yes. The whole book is constant entertainment. Even the scenes, even my non-big scenes, like the scene when Cassius is looking for Tactius, and he finds out he left the walls. That's not even one of my big scenes. The end of Volume 2 is not one of my big scenes either. Feel no regret. That's not one of my big scenes at all. Yeah, that's entertaining. That's still entertaining shit, yeah. And yet you're still hooked during the page, yeah, because my book's a masterpiece, man. It's constant entertainment when you read it. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, man. Yeah, man. My book is a masterpiece. Yeah, man. Yeah. So the gates know your Zane's brand's number one. Yeah, they know, obviously. My stepmother told me, man. It's number one. They know it's number one. And that's why they want to control it. And they know also I have the keys and I'm the son of God. Yeah, because I was the son of God and he has the keys, the whole English people will buy it. That's billions from Egypt. We don't want to make that money and have that power control. And they also know my brand. They're thinking bigger picture. Yeah, if Ivan makes $23 billion off his book, he can start Skies Entertainment with VJ, and he could sign with Amazon and sell his 4K Blu-ray and merch on Amazon. He'll make billions off that. And he sells the game. That's like $100 billion for him and VJ. Even more, maybe $120 billion for me and VJ. They don't want me and VJ having that kind of power and control. Because Ivan and VJ with $23 billion in the bank with the keys to the game, a lot of power. We start many businesses with that money, and we're going to make a lot of money off it. Yeah, with $23 million, I can start businesses with that money. And the business I'm going to start is what? Is Sky Source Entertainment with VJ, my film studio with VJ, obviously. And we'll do music on the side, right? I'm not starting music as a company, VJ. We just do it independently on the side. As my main focus, VJ, is movies, not music. I love music, VJ. I love music. I don't mind doing music with you, but my real dream is being a movie star with you. I get it. Movies is our main priority. Yes, VJ, movies are our main priority, but we can do music on the side every couple of years if you want. A couple singles of an album if you want. Your dream album if you want. But movies is the main focus. Okay, Ivan, yeah. As it's much cooler being a famous movie star than being a famous musician, right? That's my point. Me and VJ will most likely go touring for the album too, right? Guaranteed, yeah. Concerts, me and VJ sing, and you have the whole thing packed, and chances are we'll go tour for the album too. Me and VJ, it's crazy. We go touring for the album tour. VJ did a Victorious tour. We might go touring for the music too. Because we're gonna make billions off our album too. Yeah, Ivan. Yeah, we're gonna make our billions off the album too, right? Not as much as the movie, because the album I'm probably gonna sell for maybe $15. So me and VJ won't make as much. We'll still make our billions off it. Yeah. Yeah. So Ivan, even when you're king, you can't touch the gate's money. No, gatekeepers never let me touch a piece of the money. But because I wrote the Xanus book, that money's mine. Yeah, the only way for us to make more money is we have to start a business with our own money because we can't touch the gatekeepers' money around the world. Everything is locked on us, man. That's why I came with keys, that way I can have my own source of income, my own money. Because the gatekeepers will never let me touch a piece of their money. And unless I sell, but if I sell, they're gonna guard the door on me and VJ's careers. And they're not gonna let us make our billions. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. Either Ivan stays poor or he sells to the gatekeepers and they destroy his life. And they guard the door on him and VJ's career. That's why I came with the keys, that way I can have my own money. I gave you the keys, Ivan. All you have to do is just own something. I wrote my Xanus book, the IP's mine. You make your billions off that, you can start your own company with VJ and you can make your money off that, obviously. That's how you make your money. Starting a business, right? And I know what business I want to start. Skies Entertainment Films with VJ. That's the business I want to start with VJ, obviously. He's like, yeah, Ivan, that's my dream too. I want to be a famous movie star with you. You want to start Skies Entertainment, Ivan, with me? Yes, VJ, let's start Skies Entertainment. And we'll make Xanus. Xanus will be our first movie based off my amazing novel that I wrote, right? My amazing past novel that I wrote. Sarah? Yeah. So Sarah, I get paid tomorrow. I don't know, my $200 at these. Yeah. Well, I have to give my stepfather the $60, man. So drained, all my money will be drained. After I get my beer and my smokes and my slices, I'll have like 100 left. Obviously, $100 left. That's why I'm sick and tired of being poor. I mean, that's why I'm not gonna let the gatekeepers take my money, man. They even take money from me when I'm poor. And while you're making all those trillions every year, you think I'm gonna let you take my money? You're crazy, man. Zero, man. The money I push for you is not for you. You're not touching it. Like, oh, I have the keys. You can't guard them, my Xanus, man. It's not yours. That's why they're so desperate. They go into desperate measures by scaring the hell out of me with death and everything. I don't know. You see a guy pull out a shotgun, pull out the gatekeepers. Some people pull out handguns. I will not fucking around. Either you bow to us or you die. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not bound to you guys, man. You're not taking a piece of my money. I'm not gonna have you do that, man. No way. Yeah, but are you really willing to die? No, I'm not willing to die. But I mean, I have no choice, man. If I choose to sell and live, the gatekeepers are gonna destroy my life. I'm gonna get a guardatory justice who sees hell, and they're gonna steal my money, and we're not paying for, you know, we don't get going. We don't stay on forever. We don't get those perks. I get a trash version of Victoria Justice. I'm not gonna have those guys do like that, man. No way. I'm brave and I choose to get the choice. Even though it's scary, Ivan, it's the right choice, man. Your father's protecting you, Ivan. You're gonna wake up 1 minute later after you're in that room. 1 minute later after you're in that room, you're gonna wake up in the hospital. Would you rather wake up 1 minute in the hospital and get your wife all fresh yourself, small Hollywood beauty, and the Xanus brand's yours, and you control the money of VJ, you get the king queen, get your free with VJ, or you sell to the gatekeepers and you're a dirty slave for the rest of your life, and you get a trash version of Victoria Justice, and they dupe you and they take all your money, and you're a dirty slave in the Hollywood system. Like, yeah, man, they're gonna destroy your life, Ivan, if you sell. That's why God gave you the keys. You don't have to sell to the gatekeepers. God's protecting you, Ivan. Yes, it's scary to die, but you're gonna wake up 1 minute in the hospital. 1 minute later in the hospital, you wake up. The scariest part of death is before you die. Once you die, you're gone, and I wake up 1 minute later in the hospital, man. Obviously, it's still a very horrific thought, but I mean, I have no choice, man. I'm not gonna have the 5 minutes to do that, man. No way, no fucking way, man. Yeah. He's crying, oh, Ivan, like, don't sell. It's a trap, Ivan. I'm garbage. I'm trash, Ivan. Yeah, everybody doesn't know she's garbage and trash. I'm trash, Ivan. I love to be destroyed, Ivan. Oh, and I was saying, I see hell, Ivan. I know. I'm saying, yeah. 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 I'm sorry. Yeah, man. John, man, your book is sick, man. Oh, my book is sick, John. I'm saying. Sick book. You're gonna see John Mega in the movie, you know what I'm saying? He's like, Tack, we need to be out. I'm like, no, Taz, that's an order. I need you protecting these people, and I trust that you will. And I'm saying, and John Mega's in the back of the line. He has to protect the people with Carl Urban and all those guys, yeah, and Andy Serkis, Job, and all of them, yeah. Well, yeah, sick movie, man. And I was like, your book is sick, man. I know my book is sick, John. I'm saying, your book is sick, man. I'm like, I know my book is sick, John. I'm saying, it's a sick book. Number one. Yeah. Will John Boyega speak like he did in Star Wars? No. John Boyega will have more of his accent, his British accent. So John Boyega will not speak like the way he spoke in Star Wars. No, Star Wars he spoke modern English. For Xanus, John Boyega will have more of that British accent that the way he speaks. The way John Boyega speaks will sound more like that, except more of a different tone, different dialect. But he sounds similar to his real British accent because the actors for Xanus are speaking old English style English. They're not speaking modern English. And that's why we have to have a dialect coach train us in old English. I'll be speaking old English style speech. I'm not speaking modern English. It's old English style speech. Like, you know the way Aragorn spoke? Yeah, speaks in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I'll sound something like that in the movie. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sick movie. Sick movie, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, sick movie, man. Yeah. He's out. I can wait for Olivia, but I don't be Jay, son. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. You got some balls to say your book is better than Dune 2 and The Dark Knight. No, guys, it's better, as you guys are better, right? It's better than all those IPs. Don't get me wrong, Dune 2 is an amazing movie, amazing fucking movie, but it's not Xanus, man. Xanus is even better than Dune 2. It's better than The Dark Knight. It's better than Lord of the Rings. Better than Star Wars. It's better than The Matrix. The Matrix, number one, is a very amazing movie, but the other two were not as good, so even Xanus would even be a better movie trilogy than even The Matrix. Because even though The Matrix 1 is arguably one of my favorite movies ever made, the sequels were not as good, obviously. Well, Reloaded was pretty good, but like Revolutions was a crapshoot. Revolutions I didn't like that much. It wasn't that good of a movie. Reloaded was good, but it's not like Matrix 1. Matrix 1's a masterpiece. Reloaded is just a good, fun, entertaining movie, but it's not like Matrix 1. More entertaining than The Matrix, but it's not like the story's not as good. Reloaded is pretty good, but Revolutions fell off the map, man. Revolutions was a crapshoot. It wasn't that good of a movie. That's why it didn't do that much money. Yeah. So here's we buried all those IPs, man. Buried Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the movies, I saw most of the Harry Potter movies. They're amazing movies, but they're not Xanus. Xanus would be better than Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all those IPs. Buried all those IPs, yeah. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to go upstairs to get more coffee. Back in a second. Almost on the video, guys. I'll talk maybe 50 minutes. I'm done. I'm tired, man. I made 3 videos straight today. I'm tired. You better enjoy these Southwest Ridge West, okay? Because I'm thinking about making videos for you guys. You keep saying that, right? Don't hear him saying. Alright, guys. downstairs to get more coffee. I'll talk maybe 50 minutes, I'm done. This is a 50-minute video and I'm done, guys. I'm tired. After this, after I watch my show, I'm gonna watch a movie. You're not gonna watch Rabbids? Nah, the games Rabbids played this year, I didn't like. This year was a bad year for games for me. A lot of the games in Rabbids I just didn't like. The Dying Light game looks pretty good, but the Silent Hill F game I don't like. But Little Nightmares, guys, is coming out, what, next Thursday? The 10th is next Friday. But Robert will be covering the game on Thursday. Little Nightmares 3 is coming out on the 9th. I am stoked for that game. I can't wait for that game. Thursday, Robert will be uploading that game. I'm going to watch the shit out of that game. I love Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares is such... I love Little Nightmares. Yeah, Little Nightmares is one of Robert's best horror games. Obviously, it's a fucking amazing game. It's scary. It's so entertaining to watch. I love Little Nightmares. Such a good game. Yeah, talk for like 40 minutes, guys. I'm done. This will only be a 50-minute video. I'm tired, guys. I've been making like 3 videos straight for the past like week and a half, but I mean, yeah. My camera's a bit. I don't believe that Xanus will be better than Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, it will. Looking at a better movie trilogy than Game of Thrones. Like Lord of the Rings, I like better than Game of Thrones. Obviously, Game of Thrones is an amazing show, but it's not. Lord of the Rings is better than Game of Thrones, right? Well, you can't really compare them. They're television and movies, but I mean, Game of Thrones is amazing, but it's not my better world, deeper, richer history and world building and everything. But my story is the better story than even Game of Thrones. It's a better story than Game of Thrones. It's a masterpiece. Sarah. Courage, Your Highness. I'll find him. No, your book is sick. I don't lie. You're so good at writing dialogue. I know. It's beautifully written. I mean, beautiful prose. I know I have beautiful prose. Beautiful prose, obviously. God, if you make it like seem it's the life is a reading of the page, yeah. Nobody can know of this, especially Lithia. I'm paraphrasing. Said, surely if Taki is there, so. Yeah, I said, I'll say. I said, Mary is a friend who requested you to ask me to spy on Takas and the others, eh? I wonder what Lithia will think of you, Mary. She won't believe you, and aren't you Eli's caretaker? I am. But you were the one that fetched the scheme, eh? You know, I said, your book is sick. I know, my book is sick. This is Lord of the Rings. I know, please, Lord of the Rings. You know, so they meet in secret, you know, saying they spied on Takias. I said, man, you're looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, I spoiled the story for you guys. Don't know who the spies are, but I mean, that's why I'm not showing you more. I won't spoil the story for them. You know who the spies are now, right? Yeah. Why? What happens with Lithia? Well, I won't spoil the story. You'll see when you read that chapter. I won't spoil the story. That's why I'm not showing you guys anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, Lord of the Rings is better. Okay, well, I'm going to show you a scene from Lord of the Rings, and you'll see the difference, guys. Even though Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, it really is. Oh, hate him, son. Even though Lord of the Rings is a... Where's my Lord of the Rings books? I can't see it. Someone take my books. No. Where the books. I don't see the book here. When you write their unique, maybe once I go over volume 2, volume 3, and I finish the book, I'll give it some thought. Should I finish their unique? Most likely not. It's just more stress. Like I now have to save another $1,600 to get that proofread too. So it's like, but if I write 2 books, I'll make more money for me to read it. I mean, where the fuck are my Lord of the Rings books? Can someone take my books? Okay, wait. It might be here. Okay. This is Return of the King. My youngest stepbrother has my Fellowship Ring book, but he's not reading it, so yeah. Yeah. This is Return of the King. I read it, obviously. Lord of the Rings, when you read it, the speech, the richness and depth of the world building is better than my book. But my book feels more fresh. It feels more like life has written onto the page, and it's more entertaining than Lord of the Rings. But Lord of the Rings has richer speech, richer dialogue, richer in-depth history, richer world building. But the story's not as entertaining. The story's not as good as entertaining. Don't hate me, Jared. Talking what I'm saying. You know. I'll just pick a random scene from the book. Okay, I'll show you this scene here. This is a scene when Sam is talking. I can show you this scene here. Yeah, you can read a little bit of that, guys. And even though it's a masterpiece, you see a difference when you read this compared to my book. My book is more entertaining, it's more fresh when you read it. No hate, it's like, yeah. But Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, though. It really is. It's a masterpiece. But my book is better, as you guys read, right? In terms of story and character work, it's better. But Lord of the Rings has better world building, richer speech, obviously, than my book. But it's not as entertaining. It feels more dry when you read it. It doesn't feel like life has been read onto the page the way my book feels. My book has a different feeling. Lord of the Rings, you guys shouldn't say, I was just saying, yeah. As you guys read right now. Because even though J.R.R. Tolkien was a genius and he wrote the best fantasy novel written until Ivan Mayer was born, J.R.R. Tolkien doesn't have the heavenly gift like me. He's a genius. He really is. How he came up with that world, Middle Earth, and that the in-depth history is genius, obviously. But even his book is not as entertaining as my book. My book is better. Does your book have rich history? Yes, it does. And when you read Volume 3, you'll see what I mean. It has rich history, obviously, but it's not as rich as Lord of the Rings. Like, you'll know about the line of kings and everything when you read Volume 3. That's why Volume 3 I'm not showing you. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Remember my board? I talk about the line of kings. Yeah, you have the line of kings for the Xanians. You have Assidius the first. He's the first king, and then that's the line that passes down to Tacitus the second, obviously. And in Ephesus, you have the line of Elodus. And it's passed down to Ephesus. You'll see when you read the book. I won't spoil it for you. And Eretat, you have the line of Rakai. Is it Rakai? Yeah, Rakai was the first king of the wolves, and Eretat's passed down to that line was passed down to Eretat, and the Fuful is obviously Eretat's son, obviously. And Tacitus the first. How much of a year history is there in your book? There's a 1,000 year history in my book. Whereas Lord of the Rings is like 4,000 years when you read the book, right? It's like Lord of the Rings has like a 3,000 year history or something like that. 3,000. We have three ages, right? First age, second age, third age. Yeah. My book is not as deep of a history. It's a 1,000 year history in my book when you read the book. Obviously. When you read Volume 3. all the answers will come to light when you don't know about the line of kings when you read volume 3. That's why I don't want to spoil so. That's why I didn't show you volume 3. You have the line of kings, right? How many lines of kings are there in your book? 3 lines. You have the human line, you have the bat line, and you have the wolf line. 3 lines of kings in my book. That's why in my book you have like this clash of kings like Game of Thrones. When you read, you copied Game of Thrones. No, I didn't. When I wrote things, I didn't know anything about Game of Thrones. I knew about the show, but I didn't know anything about Game of Thrones or what the story's even about. I don't know, like, because in Game of Thrones you do have the North and the South too. But when I wrote my book, I didn't know anything of what game. I knew about Game of Thrones, but I didn't know what the story was about. So I did not copy Game of Thrones. And even though I have the North and the South in my book, it's not similar to Game of Thrones. Like mine is like the North is holy, the South is cursed. It's a different world than Game of Thrones. Better, more unique world than Game of Thrones, right? Yeah. Because Game of Thrones, you kind of get that fantasy medieval feel, obviously. Whereas my book is nothing like Game of Thrones. My book, you get more of the Lord of the Rings feel. The best example I can give you for Xanus is Lord of the Rings. Xanus will be like Lord of the Rings, obviously. It's a complete fantasy world like Lord of the Rings. Whereas Game of Thrones is fantasy, but it's kind of medieval too in a way when you watch the show. Obviously. And there's a bunch of swearing in Game of Thrones. There's no swearing in my book. My book, the only words I use in my book is bitch and like ass and like shit or something. I think I use shit too. No, the only bad words I use in my book are the word bitch and ass. And that's it. I'm bastard and all that stuff, right? No, I don't think I use the word bastard in my book. I use the word ass quite a few times. And I also, they say bitch too in my book too when you read it. But there's no swearing, there's no F word in my book. Why? Because I wanted my book to be more like Lord of the Rings. You know how Lord of the Rings, they don't have any swearing in it either? Yeah, my book doesn't have any swearing in it. But there is nudity, there is sex in it, obviously. But there's no swearing in it. Like Game of Thrones has a bunch of swear words. And it's full of sex, man. It's crazy, man. A lot of nudity in Game of Thrones. My book doesn't have much nudity. A few sex scenes, but it's not. It's more like Lord of the Rings. But my book is darker than Lord of the Rings. As Lord of the Rings, there is no sex in it, and there's no swearing in it. In my book, they only say bitch and ass. There is sex in it, but it's not like a bunch of sex like Game of Thrones and swearing with the F word. There is no F word in my book, and there's not like a bunch of sex scenes in my book. There's only a few sex scenes in my book, and that's it. When you read the book, I won't spoil Sophie. Yeah. But it's more horrific than Lord of the Rings. And Game of Thrones too, right? Yeah. Will there be some fans who like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings better? Perhaps. Yeah, like everyone's entitled to opinion. Yeah, there are some fans who might say, yeah, I loved your book, but your book's a bit raw. I like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. But yeah, if you like those books better, I understand. Those are amazing books too. You're entitled to your own opinion on them. So I'm not gonna be mad at you for liking those books better. Art hits everyone different ways. But I highly doubt it, man. You guys read my book. My book is fucking entertaining. It's more unique than those books. It's the better story than those novels. Most fans will say, yeah, Ivan's book's the best novel written. But he set the standard for fantasy. I don't think anything will top that. Yeah, nothing can top Xanus. Xanus is too good. It's a masterpiece, man. Xanus. It's too good of a story. Don't hate him, senor. It's too good of a story, man. It's too good. Emma. What was that, guys? Too good of a story. There. Who's known as a king of fantasy right now? George R. Martin. George R. Martin is known as like the king of fantasy right now. They're calling him the American Tolkien. George R. Martin. But why do they call him that? Because Game of Thrones is kind of like an Americanized version of Lord of the Rings. It's like Lord of the Rings, but it's Americanized with swearing and the tax policies and the Seven Kingdoms and the nudity. It's an Americanized fantasy world. Game of Thrones. When you watch the show, you guys should say that's what they call George R. R. Martin the American Tolkien. George R. R. Martin pretty much is the king of fantasy right now. But everyone says Tolkien is like the king. But the author alive today who's close to Tolkien is George R. R. Martin. As a lot of fans go back and forth with Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings is better than Game of Thrones, but a lot of fans do go back and forth with Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Obviously. I never read the books, obviously. I watched the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I'm on season 3 and I want to finish the series. I watched it. Very, very amazing show. It's not Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings better, right? Lord of the Rings is better. But Game of Thrones is better than Rings of Power, though. I like Game of Thrones more than Rings of Power. Rings of Power is season 1. Season 2 was a step up. It was pretty good, season 2. Season 2 was good. But season 1 was not that good, obviously, for Rings of Power. Lord of the Rings of Power, right? Yeah. Yeah. But when I release my book, I will be the new king of fantasy. I will beat out George R. R. Martin. Don't hate me, George. I'm saying. I will surpass George R. R. Martin as the new king of fantasy. Yeah. Ivan's the king of fantasy. I enjoyed his book more than even George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones and Brandon Sanders's Way of Kings. Yes. And Stephen Erickson's Malazan. Yes. It's better than all those books. But there are some fans who might hate on me, and I like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings better. Ivan's book was a bit raw. Yeah, if you like those books better, that's your entirely opinion. I understand. I'm not going to judge you for it, right? Art hits everyone different ways. Because there will be some haters out there, Ivan, who might say, yeah, I like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones better. If you like those books better, I understand. Art hits you in different ways. But be honest, man. When you read my book and you read these other books, what story is more entertaining, guys? Be honest. Ivan, your book. Yeah, but some fans might like those books better. It just depends how the art hits you. Art hits everyone different ways, right? Yeah, there you go. Don't hate me. Yeah. Sorry, almost under, guys. Yeah. And at least I actually finished my series. Whereas the one thing about George R. R. Martin, even though he's like the American Tolkien, because he Americanized fantasy, right? Game of Thrones is like an American version of fantasy in a way when you read it. You know what I'm saying? He's called the American Tolkien. George R. R. Martin did not finish his books, as he still has 2 more books to complete, obviously. And he hasn't. George R. R. Martin only wrote 5 books in his 7-book series, but he hasn't finished his books yet. Whereas I can actually say I finished my series. Xanus is complete. I finished it. I just have to go over the rest of volume 3 and I'm done and get it proofread and design my cover. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ivan finished his book series. You know what I'm saying? He wrote his 3 volumes. That's his story. George R. R. Martin may be the American Tolkien. He's the king of fantasy right now in the modern times. But he didn't finish his books. Yeah, George R. R. Martin did not finish his books, man. You think he will, Ivan? I don't know. He's getting old. He's like 76 now, and he still hasn't finished, The Winds of Winter yet. And the fans have been waiting more than 10 years for the book to come out. So George R. R. Martin is obviously, he might have writer's block, or maybe he's just lazy. He lost the love of writing, maybe, or maybe he's just enjoying his life with the millions that he made off his IP. I don't know, but I mean, I hope that before George R. R. Martin passes away in a good, maybe, 20 years from now, I hope he can get those 2 books done, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Sarah? Yeah. I actually finished my series, guys. George R. R. Martin may be a legend, and he wrote that masterpiece, Game of Thrones. He did not finish his book series, guys. Yeah, he didn't. I mean, yeah, a lot of fans are pissed off about that. Like, George, when the fuck are you going to finish your book? And George it's been years, and he hasn't finished his 6th book, man. Why do you think, Ivan? I told you my reasons. He could be lazy, because he's getting older now, obviously. He maybe lost a bit of the love of writing. I don't think he lost the love of writing. He's preoccupied with so much work, other projects. And he's old now. He made his millions off his IP. He's just enjoying his life with the millions he made off his IP. Yeah, I'm enjoying my life with the millions I made off my IP. I'm just gonna enjoy my life. I don't really feel like writing this book right now. Yeah, I mean that could be a reason. Or I don't know. Obviously. And one thing too, because George R. R. Martin has he that this is why, before I just have her, this is why I'm so against writing. I think you shouldn't peak anymore at 3 books. Because if you try to do like a 7 book series, if you want to do a 7 book series, after you do maybe 3 4 books, it becomes tough to come up with a great ending to your story because you exhausted all your options for your story. That's why I'm not a fan of writing any more than the 3 books. Like me, if I was a full-time author and if I wanted to write a trilogy, a fantasy trilogy or a romance trilogy, I wouldn't do any more than 3 books. After 3 books, I end it because if you want to do like a 7 book series, you can run out of ideas of how to end your story, and it becomes tough to finish your series. I think George R. R. Martin might be in that situation. He already wrote 5 books, and it's becoming tougher for him to come up with an ending because he exhausted all his creativity in those other 5 books. Guys, what I'm saying? That could be a reason why it's tough for him to finish the book. Obviously. That's why for Xanus, I only wrote 3 books, 1 story in 3 volumes, and after that I'm ending it. I'm not gonna write like a 10 book series. I wouldn't be able to write a 10 book series because I don't think I have the creativity to exhaust all my creativity into 10 books. You have to come up with so many ideas how you want to end the story. It becomes tough, obviously. That's why I always stick to the 3 rule, right? For a fantasy trilogy, I recommend just stick to 3 books, end it there. If you want to write if you want to write more fantasy books, come up with a different story. Don't do any more than 3 books. That's my advice. And I think George R. R. Martin might be in that situation. Or he's just lazy and he lost the will of writing. And he just wants to enjoy he's old now, he just wants to enjoy his life with the millions that he made off his book. I understand that. Obviously, I don't know. Samsara, I don't know. That's my answer, obviously. I don't know, Samsara. You're a genius, I know. But I'll be crowned the new king of fantasy when the world reads my book. As Xanus is better than Game of Thrones, guys. Better than Game of Thrones. Why? Now you know it's better because my stepmother told me it's #1. And I saw the show. The show's amazing, but like, the Game of Thrones show's amazing. But yeah, this show's amazing, but it's not Xanus. Xanus is a better story than Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's better than Game of Thrones. Because Game of Thrones, even though it's a masterpiece, it's amazing to show, it's an Americanized fantasy world when you look at it, right? It's like an Americanized version of fantasy. Like, you guys see what I'm saying? Yeah, what's what you're saying? Yeah, it's fantasy, but it's like an Americanized version of fantasy. Because George R. R. Martin has the hardcore sex in it. He has a lot of swearing in it. He has the 7 kingdoms. You have the Clash of Kings, like Joffrey, the evil king. You have the Stark family. And you have the tax policies. It's like an Americanized version of fantasy. That's why I believe they call George R. R. Martin the American Tolkien. Obviously. Because Lord of the Rings is nothing like Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings is like high fantasy. There is no tax policies. It's more like my book. My book, there is no tax policies. No. It's more like Lord of the Rings. There is no tax policies and all that stuff. Whereas Game of Thrones, you have a bunch of tax policies and all that stuff. It's like an Americanized fantasy world, if you guys see what I'm saying there. That's why I believe they call Tolkien the American. They call George R. R. Martin the American Tolkien. Obviously. As Brian Lee Durfee goes back and forth with Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, I saw some of his fantasy. I saw Brian Lee Durfee's list of the greatest fantasy novels. Some of his lists, Game of Thrones is #1. Some of the lists, Lord of the Rings is #1. So Brian Lee Durfee goes back and forth with Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. And a lot of fans do go back and forth with Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Which series is the best? It's a back and forth thing, obviously. But I think Lord of the Rings takes the cake over Game of Thrones, to be honest. But I have not read the books, but I've seen the shows. So what I've seen from the shows, I would say Lord of the Rings takes the cake. But I might purchase the book, just the first book, Game of Thrones, and read it. And I'll know if it's better than Lord of the Rings or not when I read it, obviously. I'm not going to read all 5 books. I'm not a book nerd. I don't have the energy to read 5 books. I might purchase the first Game of Thrones book and read it to see if it's better than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I highly doubt it is, though. Catch what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's the best fan novel of Ring, guys. And the best movie just remain when I adapt it. Anyways, here's what guys. Hope you guys enjoy the shows. I remember saying, peace. Don't hate him, son. Peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this hour show of mine. Peace out. Don't hate him, son.